Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Yulia Gell, and I'm a marketing specialist at Growegy. Today we have a wonderful speaker, Marie Twist. Marie will tell and show you how Growegy can benefit your business and share tips and tricks to get started. Now let me tell you about our company and why Growegy started. We love small businesses, and as one ourselves, we understand that everything you do as an owner, manager, and employee is critical towards the success of your business. We started Growegy. It's where growth and strategy come together in one place to solve three main issues that block small businesses. It's planning, expertise, and performance reviews. As for planning piece, Growegy provides the ability to see all your business development activities in one place and helps you to stay on task. As for expertise, we provide a real resource of information, ideas, playbooks, and assistance. We are leaning on decades of marketing and business management experience to help you find success. And we help with performance reviews. You can see and track all your programs in one place. You can evaluate what is making a difference for you and what is wasting time and money. And we continue to add new features and resources. And we look forward to working together. All right, I'm handing the microphone to Marie now.
Thank you, Yulia. Hi, my name is Marie Twist. I'm your Growegy account manager and marketing consultant. Anytime you have questions, if you need help with your program, or if you have marketing materials that you'd like feedback on, you do have full email access to me as a part of your new Net30 account. In addition to that email access, once per month, you're also going to be receiving my Calendly link, where you then have the option to set up a one-on-one 20-minute Zoom call with me. Now, this is to go over anything that you would like during that 20 minutes. I can help you with your program, run demos for you, help you to get your calendar organized, or we can talk about your marketing efforts. You'll typically receive that Calendly link from me every 3 weeks. And when that comes through, if you decide that you don't want to take the call or you're not ready, you can go ahead and just ignore it when it does come through. And then reach out to me whenever you're ready. If you would like to schedule, you can click the link. It'll show you all my availability, and you can choose an appointment day and time that works best for you and your company. Now, you should have already received several emails from me. As soon as you applied, you would have received one requesting your SS4 form or your tax ID number for your business. We ask for that information to ensure proper credit reporting for the business credit bureaus. So if you have not already responded to that, please make sure you send that over as soon as possible. I've also dropped my email address into the webinar chat for you, so you can copy that down since we will be working together in the future. And if you haven't seen any emails come through from me, go ahead and send me a quick email and I'll make sure that you get taken care of. Now, the next email you would have received from me would have come through about 48 hours after you send in your application, and that's going to be approving your new account and giving you some details about how your account works. Accompanying that email will be a separate one with a quick start guide attached to help you get things set up at growegy.com and to show you how to get started using our program. And then in addition to those two from me, you would have also received one that same day directly from growegy.com. That email is going to contain your temporary password, and the subject line should say your invitation to join Growegy. Now, that temporary password does expire, so we do want you to log in and set a more permanent password as soon as possible. If your password has already expired, or maybe you can't find that email, go ahead and send me a quick message and I'll make sure you get taken care of and can gain access. And then about 24 hours after you receive your temporary password, you're going to receive one additional email, and that one's going to be from our payment portal, which is called Stripe. That email will say Growegy invoice in the subject line, and it does contain your first invoice with us. Now, we do invoice at the beginning of our billing periods, and the invoices are $55 per month. That gains you enhanced access to me, access to our project management program here, and it enrolls you into our loyalty program as well. Our loyalty program doesn't have any additional cost for you, just some really great additional benefits that really add a lot of value to what we're doing here at Growegy. Now, when that email comes through with your first invoice, there will be a link within it that you can click on to access the invoice and the payment page. When you go into the payment page, you can save a payment method, but I want you to keep in mind that we do not offer automatic payments at Growegy due to the credit reporting standards for business credit. So you do have to log in each month and choose the action to make your payment, but your invoices are typically generated right around the same day each month. So it should be fairly easy to set a reminder. And we also always email out those invoices as soon as they're generated, a couple of days before the due date. And then if you're past due, we send out regular reminders as well. You can also access the payment portal directly from growegy.com, and I'll demonstrate how to do that shortly. Now, again, you are automatically enrolled into our loyalty program. Right now, we do have some great benefits being offered for that, and we are still working on building out those benefits. So keep an eye on your email for new announcements about those free loyalty benefits. Right now, your first benefit becomes active at your 5th month with Growegy. Once you've made that 5th payment, that first benefit is going to be an ad set designed for your company for the platform of your choice. We'll work with you on format and content, and we'll finalize the images for you and then provide those to you so you can use those to upload to your ad and successfully run your ad. At 10 months, if you're still with us and you have a company website, we'll take a look at your website and create an SEO optimization checklist of things you can do to enhance your website's performance. If you don't have a company website, but that's something you would like in the future, we'll take a look and see what your top competitors are doing and create a checklist of things you should include within your website in order for you to be competitive within your field. Now I'm going to be sharing my screen with you, and we're going to get logged into our demo account at growegy.com so I can show you how to get started and set things up. And then I'm going to show off some of those different features that we're really proud of here at Growegy. Yulia, can you let me know when you can see my screen, please?
Absolutely, Marie. We can see it now.
Perfect. When you first log into growegy.com, it's going to look just like this blank calendar here. We are in the calendar feature. You can see that here. No matter which feature you're in, your tools will always be across the top here, and your feature tabs will be down this left side. We're going to get started today in settings. And when you're in settings, profile up here will default to all your information. You can click into these boxes to make changes and then save your selections. Users is where you're going to go to add or remove users from your account. Your account does come with a total of 8 users, and that does include your own. Now, it doesn't include my admin account that'll look a lot like this one here. So you do have the potential to add 7 additional users if you'd like to. And to do that, you're going to come down here and click Add New, or you can click the yellow plus sign in the top right corner. Now in here, you're just going to enter in an email address and then choose which permission you're going to grant them. Admin's going to have all the same access as you. They can see everything and change everything. Users does have a lot of access. They're going to be able to see all the different features and access those. But when it comes to settings, they're only going to see profile, notifications, and Google Calendar. So they're not going to have these other settings here. Viewer has view only options on the calendar and table view. They cannot change anything and they can't see analytics, insights, or settings. And then guest is only going to have the access to view things on table and calendar again, so they won't see these other features, but they'll be able to make changes to the things that they're assigned to specifically, and they're only going to see the things that they are assigned to. Once you've decided on their permission, you can send the invitation. It'll send them that email with their invitation to join and their temporary password. Now, if you would like to change their permissions at any point, you can go to the 3 dots to the right of their name and choose Edit. And then you can toggle between your options and save your selection. This is the same place you'll go to remove an account by choosing Delete instead of Edit. And you're going to see on this third one here, there's actually a third option that says Refresh. Refresh is only ever there if a person has never logged in with their temporary password. If they can't find their temporary password or if it's expired, you can come in here and click refresh. It'll reset and resend their temporary password so they can gain access. Now we're going to go ahead and skip to the end where Google Calendar is. We do currently integrate with Google Calendar. It is a real-time 2-way integration. All of your entries from Growegy will show up on Google Calendar, and then you'll have the option to make some limited changes on Google Calendar to your Growegy entries that will then be synced with Growegy. Now, if you would like to get connected, you can click Connect, and it'll walk you through the prompts of choosing your account and getting logged in. Once you're connected, it's also going to give you the option to use some of Google's notifications and reminders, but we also have our own in-house notifications here. Our in-house notifications send an email out the day before an item is due if you're either assigned to a specific task or if you're delegated as the owner of a project and you're overseeing that project. Now, I'll show you how to delegate those in the calendar entry shortly, but if you would like to turn notifications off, each user must log in and slide this tab over in order for them to be turned off. And then we do also have the billing portal right here. If you click into billing, there's this box right here that says check invoices and make payments. And this is actually a link that'll take you to Stripe, which is our payment portal. Now within Stripe, you're going to have your subscription information right here at the top. You'll have the option to cancel your account over here at the right, and you're going to have the option to pay invoice right here. Keep in mind, this button is going to pay the most recent invoice. So if you're towards the end of your due date or your billing cycle, you may have another invoice that was already generated. If that's the case, or if you're trying to pay an older invoice, you can scroll down to invoice history down here, find the square with the arrow next to the one you'd like to pay and click on that. That will take you to that specific invoice's payment page. Down here is where you can store that payment method, but please remember we do not take automatic payments due to the credit reporting standards for business credit. Down here, your billing information is going to be stored. If you would like to make updates, you can click update information or simply email me and I'll make sure it gets taken care of. And then of course, with that invoice history, we're going to go ahead and click the square with the arrow so I can show you the payment page. And this is going to take us to that invoices page. If this were a paid invoice, we're not going to have the payment section. You'll have two boxes, one that says download receipt and another that says download invoice. Now this one's not paid, so we have our payment section here. I can download the invoice by clicking here. My invoice number is listed right here. And if I click view invoice and payment details, I'm going to get this right-hand panel where my service dates are listed. Back into Growegy, the next tab is going to be integrations. We do currently integrate with Salesforce. Salesforce is a great CRM, and if you're using them, you can come in here and click connect, and it'll walk you through the prompts of setting up that connection. Now, once you are connected with Salesforce, Salesforce will share your company's information with our program here at Growegy. If you're not using Salesforce, you can upload your information using an Excel spreadsheet or simply enter it in manually. We do have additional integrations coming. One of the next ones you should be seeing on here is going to be for Outlook Calendar. If there are additional integrations that you would like to see, please feel free to send me an email with a link, and I'll go ahead and get that added to our list for our developers. Now, program types is going to be the last tab we're going to go over under the settings feature. Program types is going to be one of the most important tabs when it comes to your analytics feature. Each of these types that are named out in here will become its own graphic in analytics. Now, these types are also assigned to your calendar entries, and all the information from the calendar entries is pulled over into table and analytics view. Now, when you're in here for the first time, you're going to see some really generic ones like email, event, social media, website, and webinar. Then at the very bottom, you have the option to click Add New. And this is how you're going to add in those custom types. In here, you're just going to give it a name, choose a color to represent it, and click Add Program. You can see I can click into any of these and make updates or edits at any time. I can change the color that they've been chosen for, or I can delete them all together by using this trash can feature here. Now, I do recommend that you are very specific when naming out your types. You can see that if you have social media, you can put each of those platforms on here. I have both Instagram and Facebook on here, and then I've broken that out by networking outreach, content, and each of my individual ads are named as well. If something is going to generate sales for you, you want to be very specific in naming it out, but you can also add in your day-to-day operations things in here as well. So if you're doing reporting, you can add in reporting in here or that specific report. You can see I have renovations in here for a real estate client. A new product upload is here, networking event outreach, and then all of my different leads generations are listed in here as well. So I have Zillow outreach or an SMS campaign. Up at the top, I have cold call outreach or a direct mail campaign. You can add in your email campaigns or your promos as well. So all of that can come in here and be named out as its own specific type. But if you are doing a promotion, you don't want to just name it out as promotions. You want to name that specific promotion. Once you have this set up the way you like it, I also recommend creating one for templates, just like this one here. There is a way to save templates, so that way you don't have to recreate things over and over again that you're going to continue to run. So once you have this set up, I am going to demonstrate how to set a template in your calendar for you shortly. And then we're going to go ahead and head back into the calendar feature. Up here at the top left, you do have your basic view tools. You can use these arrows to toggle between your months or press the circle for today's date. Over here to the right, we have an additional view tool that'll affect your at-a-glance calendar here. So if we wanted to see who's assigned to each of these tasks listed in the calendar, I can slide over assignee, and now the usernames are listed beneath each one. Same thing down here with the program fields. You can select up to 3 of these to be shown. So maybe we want to see actual leads, maybe we want the budget and the end date. So now we have our actual leads, our budget, and the end date listed right there in the calendar entry. So we don't have to actually open it up to track those items. It's going to make it a lot easier for you to just glance at things and see exactly where you're at. Then over here, we have our Unscheduled tool. This is my favorite tool in the calendar feature. It's a great place to write down your ideas and for your planning. A lot of people are using notebooks, and they'll use this either in tandem with their notebook or to replace it. And all you have to do is click this gray plus sign right here. Now, once you've clicked the gray plus sign, it's going to give you this program card. You only have to fill out these top 2 sections in order to save it. So the first section is going to be the type. Just remember, these are under settings and program types, and you can always add in another type if you can't find the one you're looking for. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and use social media. And then all you have to do is give it a name and click add program, and it'll save. Now, I like to take this a step further. Once I've named it and when I have an idea, I usually know what some of the tasks are going to be in order for that to be successful. So I'll go ahead and scroll down to the task list right here, and I'll just start adding in my tasks. You can always edit this later. This doesn't mean it has to be finalized as whatever you write right now. You can always come in and edit the text. You can drag and drop your tasks to reorganize them, or you can go to the right where the 3 dots are and delete things altogether. Once that looks the way you want it, you're going to click add program, and it's going to add in just like one of these over here. So you can see I have one here for social media launch. And if I scroll down, here's the task list that I've been working on. Now I'm ready to implement this, and I'm pretty happy with my task list. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up and then change my dates section from unscheduled to scheduled. Now in here, we're going to have a start date for when this project's getting started, as well as the date we want it to be completed by over here in the end date section. If we'd like to add specific times, I can click add times, and it's going to give me this right-hand panel here where I can select a specific time. If I change my mind about times, I can go ahead and click remove times. If you click remove the dates, it's just going to stay in unscheduled. And then up here for owner, if you are the only person in your company, make sure that you assign yourself as the owner. Owners get all the notifications for all the tasks and anything having to do with the program. If you do have a team, when you hit this dropdown, it's going to list out all the users you've invited in, and you can assign somebody else to be the owner if you'd like to. Now down here, when we get to our task list, all I have to do now is pop in those individual due dates, which is really easy to do with the calendar graphic that we have. And then over here for assignee, again, if it's just you and your company, as long as you're the owner, you're going to get the reminders and notifications. If you do have a team, you can hit that drop down for assignee, and you can assign these out to individual people so that way they get notified as well. Now, once you have this looking the way you want it, you can click Save Program, and these individual tasks will get pushed out to the proper due dates on the calendar. Now, you can also simply drag and drop something straight into your calendar to quickly get it on there. Now, a lot of times I'll do this if I know that I need to schedule something out, but I just haven't made time to do that. So now that it's dragged and dropped here, I can open it up and I can make my edits to the dates, and I can add out those individual due dates as well. Now, dragging and dropping is nice because it does go both ways. I can drag and drop this right back into unscheduled, and it's going to live over here in unscheduled. You'll see it doesn't matter which month I go to in the calendar, it follows me until I decide to schedule those items. This is a great way not to lose something in your calendar. We also have a great built-in filter. We know you need to be able to find your items when you're looking for them. And sometimes the calendar can start looking a little crazy, especially for new business owners. When you're in here, you can add up to 5 of these custom conditions. Keep in mind when you're using this first section is going to be the field that we're filtering by. With this, when you're using it, name is going to be the name of the calendar entry and owner is going to be the person responsible for overseeing it. The second section here is going to be the rule that we're going to set for that field. And then finally, we're going to give it a value. So maybe we only want to see things for July lending. We're going to apply that filter, and now only things with July lending and the name are going to show up in the calendar. To remove the filter, we're going to hit the X, and then that's going to bring me over to our grouping tool. You can see that no grouping is currently on, which means we're just seeing our daily due dates and tasks as they're due in the calendar. If we group it by campaign, those due dates and tasks get pushed up underneath their project name. So now we can see each of the different projects that we're running or campaigns that we're running in the calendar. If we want to view the due dates for that specific project, we can hit that drop down arrow. And now here's the due dates just for the product sourcing and upload. Now, this is a really great tool for planning when you're in your quarter view, because then you can see 3 months of what you have planned for your company. These lines run through as long as your campaign is running, so that tells you where your campaign ends. This makes it really easy for you to identify slowdowns like we see here in September. Now, if you do notice slowdowns and you're using your Unscheduled tool the way I've outlined, 90% of your planning should already be done in this right-hand panel. So it's going to be really easy to just open one of these up and get them scheduled for September and update and polish off that task list. This will keep your company from ever having a true slowdown. We're going to head back into the month view now, and we're ready to start adding to your active calendar. To do that, I can hover over the calendar for this gray plus sign. This is going to allow me to add a new campaign. Keep in mind that these text bubbles with the text within it and that line running through, these are your campaigns. They are bigger pictures and projects or long-term goals. I can also click the yellow plus sign up here in the top right corner for a new program or a new campaign. And while campaigns are those bigger pictures and projects or long-term goals, programs are typically assigned to campaigns, and they're going to be all your short-term goals and tasks that you need to complete in order for a campaign to be successful. A campaign can have a single program assigned to it, or it can have many. It's completely up to you on how you'd like to organize it. You also can have programs without a campaign assigned to it, and it's going to look just like this one here in the calendar. I always start by adding a new campaign in first. That way I can assign out my program as soon as I create it. So we'll click New Campaign, and then this first section here is going to have us choose a color. That's going to be the color of our text bubble, and the title or campaign name here is going to be the text within it. Down here, we can set a status and assign an owner. Please keep in mind owners receive all the notifications. So if it's just you, make sure you set this as yourself. Down here, we're going to have our start date and of course our end date. You still have the options to click add times if you'd like to, but if you do remove the dates, it's going to go live in unscheduled. Down here for leads, leads equate to sales. If you are tracking sales, you're going to set a goal that's challenging but attainable for your company over here. And then the actual numbers as you make the sales will go here. If you're using Salesforce, you can click use Salesforce. If you're not tracking sales for this entry, go ahead and skip this section. Down here for a budget, this is going to be your campaign budget. So that means it's your overall project budget. And then you can break that budget out by program as you create those programs, but this is going to be the big picture budget. Again, if you're not tracking budget, feel free to skip this section. Down here, we do have the option to add custom fields. So if there's other pertinent information you'd like to see on your calendar entry, you can add as many of these custom fields as you would like. Now, keep in mind that your campaign and program cards that information gets shared over with the table view. When you do create custom fields, the field name becomes the title of a column in the table view. Now, the table view looks a lot like an Excel spreadsheet, but it's a lot more organized and intuitive. And I'll show you an example of that shortly. The value over here can be text, number, date, and time, or formula. Those formulas do follow Excel formulas. So if you need help with that, feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to assist you. Now, if you change your mind about these custom fields, The campaign and program cards do not like blank custom fields, so you do have to go to the three dots to the right and choose delete before it'll let you save. Or you can leave a space in there as a placeholder. Down here for description, a lot of people will put their outreach scripts. So if you're doing cold calls, door knocking, if you are sending out SMS texts or even email campaigns, you can put all that information in here. You can write a description. You can also add in links to either your cloud storage, your product page, a home listing, really anything you'd like, you can add in here. And down here, you do have room for actual attachments as well. Anything you write in the description or attach here, your users will have access to regardless of where they are geographically, as long as they're able to log in. Once this looks the way you want it, you're going to click Add Campaign. And then it's going to get added in just like one of these here. It'll have that text bubble with the line running through. Now, there won't be anything to drop down yet because we haven't added in those individual tasks yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up to the yellow plus sign and choose new program so we can add that part in. Up here for the type, just remember these are under settings and program types. So you can go and add in a new type if you need to. Otherwise, you can start typing in and find the one you're looking for. Down here, you're going to give it a name. This will be the name that shows up when your grouping is off. So you're not looking at your campaign view. And it'll also help to remind you what this specific portion of the project is. Down here, you do have the option to set status and owners still. And then when you get to campaign, it's going to list out all the active campaigns in your calendar. You can start typing in to find the one you're looking for, or you can leave it blank and it'll save as a program without a campaign. If you can't find the campaign you're looking for, you may not have added it yet, so make sure you go and add that in before you move forward. Down here for the dates, you can repeat the same dates that you have in your campaign if you would like to, especially if you're only running a single program. But I want you to keep in mind that programs can be run for a single day, a couple of days, or even a couple of weeks. It's really up to you on how you'd like to organize it. For this one, since I'm only going to run one program for my campaign, I'm just going to go ahead and mirror my dates. Over here, you still have the options to add times, or you can click remove dates to go ahead and have it over in unscheduled. Down here, leads repeats. So just remember, leads are going to equate to sales. If you have leads coming from multiple avenues, you can set a different goal for each of your programs. But if you're only having one program for your campaign, you're just going to repeat your goal here and then update that number here. If you only want to track leads in one place, that's okay. I do recommend tracking them in the programs instead of the campaigns. The programs have the type attached to it up here, and this type ties into analytics. It's going to give you much more comprehensive data when it comes to analytics if you're tracking here than if you were to only be tracking in the campaign. Down here, we have our budget again, and this is where you can break out portions of that budget. So if you have a campaign with $1,000 budget and you have 3 different programs, you can assign different portions of that $1,000 to each program. And again, if you're not tracking leads or budget, just skip these sections. We do have an additional space for vendors. So if you're running like a Facebook ad, you can add meta into here. You can also add custom fields here as well. A lot of people use these custom fields to add in a property name, a promo code, a product name, or any other information you find pertinent. Down here, you do have room for description and attachments. And we also have our task list, just like we did in Unscheduled. Usually when I come down to the task list, I'll add those tasks in, drag and drop to reorganize. And don't forget, you can always update this later as well. So if there's additional tasks that come up or anything you want to get rid of, you can always make those edits. Once your task list looks the way you want it, you can set those due dates again. And then if it's just you, again, make sure you're the owner. But if you do have assignees for each one, you can hit that drop down and you can select individual users. Once that looks the way you want it, you can click Add Program, and then you'll be able to go into your calendar and hit the drop down for that campaign, and you'll see your program there with all the due dates. Now you can see some of these items have a strike through them, and that's because when I open this up, they've been checked off. When you complete something and mark it as done, it does this great strike through here that carries through into your calendar as well. This makes it really easy for you and your whole team to identify exactly what's been completed and what's still being worked on. Now, everything that you put, everything that's in here, I don't want you to have to recreate items that are going to repeat over and over again, like an Instagram ad, like you see here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to turn this into a template. We're going to go ahead and open this up. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a copy using these two squares in the right-hand corner. Now from the copy, we're going to turn it into a template by choosing templates as the type. And then we're going to make this as generic as possible. So I can use this for any Instagram ad in the future, and it's not product or client specific. Down here, I'm going to go ahead and remove my campaign so I can set a new campaign next time. I'm also going to remove the date and set my leads goal and my budget back to 0. Now for the vendor section, this is going to be an Instagram ad, so my vendor's not going to change, but my client might, and I do still want to track the client. So what I'll do is I'll just leave a space here as a placeholder. Down here, I'm going to go ahead and remove the description so I can set that up again for the next one. And then when it comes to my task list, I know that I'm probably going to have the same set of tasks and probably even the same assignees every time that I run this. So all I'm going to do is go ahead and remove my due dates. And this looks exactly the way that I want it. So now I can click Add Program. Once that's added in, it's going to be over here in Unscheduled. It'll be a program without a campaign because we did remove the campaign from it. And as I scroll down here, you can see Insta ads listed right here. Now I do have a lot over in this right-hand panel, so you can take your grouping off and it'll group your templates together for you. You can also use your filter right here. If we type in Insta and apply that filter, we're only going to see those Instagram ad templates. Now, when I'm ready to schedule that again, all I have to do is click into it to open it up. And then the first thing I'm going to do is make another copy. If you just open it and schedule it, you'll end up losing your template. So it's important that you make that copy. Now from the copy, we can go ahead and start making our changes. We'll go ahead and choose Instagram ad as the type, update our title. Down here, I'll just go ahead and make sure I'm the owner, change this to scheduled and add in my date range. And then I have to scroll down to the bottom and just pop in those individual due dates again. Once you have your due date set and you click Add Program, it's going to get this back onto calendar very quickly for you. Now, everything you add into your calendar does get shared with that table view. So we're going to go there next. And within the table view, it's going to break it out by campaign for you. So you can see each of the campaigns we're running. We can toggle between our months using these arrows still. And we have all the different campaigns that we're running for that specific month. You can also go into your quarter view here and see 3 months worth of what you have planned. And you can go into a week view instead as well if you wanted to see a smaller amount of information. Now, this does tally up your projected leads, actual leads, and your budget for each of your campaigns. So if you have more than one program for a campaign, it's going to give you those totals at the bottom. You can also drag and drop your columns to reorganize them if you'd like to view the information in a different way, or you can use the view tool over here and you can unselect items you'd like to remove from view and they disappear. Now you can also click onto this program right here. You can click the drop down to see all the tasks associated with it. I can check items off from this menu, so you can do all your planning from here. Down here at the bottom, you can click Add New to add an additional task, or if you click Add New outside of that box, it's going to add a whole new program for you. You can also click on the plus sign in the top right corner for a new program or a new campaign, so you can do all your planning from this window. And if I click into this right here, it's actually going to show me my program card just like it would in the calendar feature. I also have the option to go into my unscheduled from here. And into my unscheduled, I can click into these as well and change them to scheduled to get them on calendar. So if you do notice gaps, just remember you can fill those gaps with your unscheduled. Now we also have these 3 dots here, which allow you to upload from or download to Excel. We do have instructions on how to do that on our main website, which is growegy.com. You're going to scroll all the way to the bottom where our help section is. And the import-export instructions for Excel are listed here. Now back into Growegy, we also have the same search or same filter that's in your calendar, but we have an additional search tool here. So if you are looking to pinpoint specific items, this is the best place to do it. Now, analytics is going to be fairly blank for your company for now. This is pulling the information directly from your calendar entries. So once you start tracking your leads, projected leads, and program types, it'll start pulling that information over automatically when you go into analytics. We're going to go over this in a lot of detail during our first one-on-one call, but just to give you a quick overview, you do have the options for quarter, month, week, or custom dates for your view. If I go into quarter, you're going to see that automatically updates those graphics for me by pulling the information from my calendar entries. I can use these arrows to toggle between my months, but this first graphic here is going to give you information about your leads versus your projected leads for the time period you selected. Down here, it's going to break it out by program type for you. And this is where it becomes important to name out those specific types. If you just have one that says Facebook ads encompassing all of your Facebook ads, you're not going to get individualized information on those ads. But as you can see, I named them out individually here, and I can easily scroll across and say, okay, this one did pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the results. But this one wasn't so great, and it kind of flopped on us. So I'm either going to try a different platform or provider. Maybe I'm going to update my script or redesign it, or maybe I'm going to drop it all together and try something else. And then as you go across, it's really going to give you that individualized information. So it'll show you exactly what's wasting time and money for your company and what's paying off. Down here at the bottom, it's going to give you a month-by-month comparison. So if you ran the same ad 2 months in a row, you should be able to come in here and see how well it performed from one month to the next. And then our next feature is going to be Insights. For right now, Insights just has our Twitter feed, but in the future, you can expect to see recommendations from me over here. These are going to be based off of our one-on-one calls together, and the more we interact with each other, the better this section will be for you. And then you'll also be able to find my contact details here, as well as a highlights reel about new features we've released for our products. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to go ahead and hand things back off to Yulia now.
Thank you, Mary. Please remember that we are always there to help if you need any assistance. You can contact your account manager anytime. Marie dropped her email address to the webinar chat in the very beginning of our webinar. Please go ahead and copy it if necessary. Or you can find step-by-step guides on our website, growegy.com. You need to scroll down to the bottom of the page, and the help section contains a few detailed guides with lots of screenshots. Today, there are several guides available. It's a quick start guide, Salesforce integration instructions, Google Calendar integration instructions, import-export instruction for Microsoft Excel, roles and permissions guide, and releases will contain all the new updates that were added recently. Thank you for joining us today. It was our pleasure to have you over. We are looking forward to working together, and have a wonderful day.